Frances Stickley is Chair of Governors at King's Langley School, a comprehensive in Hertfordshire. One of the main items currently on her board's agenda is extended services.
Well, at King's Langley we're in quite an early stage. We've just really identified King's Langley School as the hub school for our local consortium.
Today, Frances is visiting John o' Gaunt School, a secondary school in Hungerford. It's in a cluster of local schools which was among the first to introduce extended services.
I'm very excited to be here at John o' Gaunt today. I'm hoping to learn how they delivered all the elements of the core offer for extended schools. I understand some of the offers, but perhaps some of them are not quite so easy for a school to interpret.
The core offers cover access to childcare from 8 AM till 6 PM for primary schools, access to varied enrichment activities for secondaries, access to parenting support, swift and easy referral, community access to facilities and adult learning. Nigel Morgan is one of the governors at John o' Gaunt School.
Hello Nigel, nice to meet you.
Hi Frances.
Hi.
He's also chair of the wider strategy group, including representatives of all the stakeholders, which oversees the extended services.
So Nigel, when were extended services actually introduced here at John o' Gaunt?
They were formally launched in September 2005, but obviously there was a great deal of planning went on before that, but that's effectively when they went live.
And are you with any other schools in a cluster?
Here in Hungerford we have the primary and the nursery school, and then we have all of the feeder schools, the primaries, so they all take part as well.
Which school takes the part of the hub school?
From an administration point of view, the nursery school, but it's chiefly because they actually have the space to run the office.
And where did you get the initial funding from, and how much money did you actually acquire?
We got 195,000, which came from the local authority after we'd been through the bidding process to be in extended schools, and that was in the first year.
And it sounds like a huge sum to be given right at the start of this project.
It does. It's surprising how far it doesn't go. We used it for recruitment. We bought a minibus. We bought video conferencing facilities so we could talk to the feeder schools within the cluster. One of the pressures we did face, though, is that we weren't sure initially how much of that money we'd be able to carry over.
And could you carry that over?
In the event we were able to carry money over.
Okay.
And then in year 2, that money dropped to 35,000.
Right.
And because ultimately extended schools are supposed to be self-financing.
Some of the initial money went on appointing the all-important ESCO, Extended Services Coordinator. Pauline Redding took up the role of ESCO after a career in adult and community learning and in training health professionals.
You need to find somebody that's a bit of an all-rounder, somebody that's fairly organised, can work on their own and also has their own initiative to be able to source various funds. So it's quite a broad remit.
Now, one of the core offers for primary schools is that they're open between 8 and 6. Do all your primary schools have breakfast clubs and after-school clubs?
They don't all have them. They have consulted, and where there has been the need, then they have run.
And where the parent consultation indicated very little demand?
Then we would signpost to other schools to meet that need. So across the cluster of schools we do provide breakfast club and after-school care.
Consultation with parents, children and the wider community was one of Pauline's first challenges as ESCO. How did she go about it?
We were very fortunate in the time we started. The local parish plans were being drawn up, so we were invited to attend the forums with the local community to establish their need as regards education and adult learning and facilities. Also, we designed questionnaires that we gave out to parents and students.
And what did the students here at John o' Gaunt ask for particularly?
Well, a very popular one was the babysitting course. I organised a 2-day course which included paediatric first aid.
We wanted the babysitting club because it would be interesting to know if we were capable of looking after younger children.
We learnt how to play with them and sort of toys that they used, and also like all the danger things like hazards and fires.
We got a certificate and a pass to say we could do first aid and to say that you can babysit for something like 2 years until you need to take another babysitting first aid course.
Something Pauline has learned is that parents are more willing to pay for activities in the school holidays than after school. These new all-weather sports pitches were funded by lottery money, but charges still have to be made for out-of-hours activities.
Charging is a crucial issue and we have to get it right.
When we've put on courses that are free, sometimes people turn up for the first day and may not turn up to the rest of the course. So we need the commitment. So we find that a small charge provides that commitment from them to turn up.
This range of activities, especially through the holidays, must really increase your workload. Do you have to organise and coordinate all these activities, or do you get other agencies to help you out?
I don't coordinate and organise all of them. I do some, but in partnership with the youth centre, they provide the coaches and the tutors if necessary.
The youth centre is next door to John O'Gaunt School and is a key partner in offering extended services.
One of the things the local youth centre helps us with is with our Year 10s. They have developed a really good Friday afternoon session. This week it's canoeing. They've provided a really good resource and to be able to meet the needs for this particular Year 10 group.
Oh dear. You should have your motor running by now, Nick.
Finding effective partners to work with also underpins the Hungerford School's core offer of community access to adult learning. Pauline has linked up with Newbury College.
Initially we thought, well, we'd have to source the tutors ourselves, but knowing that we've got a college that has provided and has a good quality of tutors available, we've sourced them and used their resources to provide a comprehensive adult learning programme within the school. We also have done an Adult Learners Week with Newbury College, where we provided taster courses, and that identified the sorts of courses that people were interested in.
So you found the taster sessions a good way to actually gauge interest, because I guess one of the most difficult thing will be, are you actually going to get take-up for the courses that you're hoping are going to be popular?
What people say they want and what they actually turn up to is sometimes quite different.
5 minutes away from John O'Gaunt School is Hungerford Nursery School and Children's Centre, where several of the parenting support initiatives are focused. This afternoon, a mother and toddler group is meeting.
Well, this is the Caterpillar Club, and this was a group that was resulted as a request from the parent and baby group. And they were worried about once their children start crawling, they may well harming the babies that can't move around. So they wanted a separate group. And so we were able to provide a facility on a Friday afternoon where they can meet, and it's become their own group.
And in terms of the core offer of parenting support and family support, I guess it kind of starts here. This is where your first interactions with parents with young families begins.
We have the antenatal classes here as well, so we were able to make the links with the health visitors and to provide support, parenting support from right from the start really, and we hope through the family support work that it can continue through primary and secondary school as well.
Joining in at the Caterpillar Club today is Marie Beasley, one of 3 family support workers who have responsibility for the core offers of parenting support and swift and easy referral. Their work has proved highly effective.
I'm part of a team of 3. There's myself, that's based at the bottom end with the babies, the toddlers. We have another family support worker that's based at the primary school, and we have another family support worker at the secondary school. So the support that we offer is continuous. It became very clear to us to offer an effective family support service. We needed to know our families. Most families tend to chug along quite happily, but if you've built up that relationship with families, when things do dip, which they do dip in family life, there is somebody that they know and it's a familiar person to them. One of the other parts of our job is actually referring families and getting other agencies or services, the appropriate agencies and services in to support these families.
For Lynn Bartlett, head teacher of John O'Gaunt School, it's this aspect of the extended services which has proved most valuable.
The biggest impact has been the family and school support workers team. They work with vulnerable youngsters and their families, and they make sure that they attend school and that they're able to work when they're in school. That's had the biggest impact of all, I would say. It's really important for those young people to have that team in place.
Are there any pitfalls which you can help us avoid at King's Langley School?
I think the longest discussion we had was over the finances and how that was going to be managed, because it was outside the remit of the school's finances, and that did give us a lot of angst and a lot of meetings, so that you do need to look at how the finances are managed.
The Extended Services budget is actually managed at the Nursery School and Children's Centre where Pauline is based. After the initial 2 years of local authority funding, she now faces the huge problem of sustainability.
Sustainability is a big issue, and you hear about it more and more within the Extended Services remit. The main issue for me is the continuity of service. So where possible, I have tapped in or applied for funds to put on activities, but the big issue is the funding of posts.
It's proved impossible to find ongoing funding for posts. So how confident does Lynn feel about the sustainability of extended services for her cluster of schools?
I'm not confident because it's been quite obvious that we haven't been able to generate any funds. We are in a situation now where our funding is coming to the end in August. I believe the more funds are coming through in April, but then we have this gap. We're going to have difficulties because we haven't got any money coming in to carry on the extended services. We will continue to do whatever we can within the means that we have, but I think it's something that's got to be urgently addressed because we're not going to be the only school in this situation.
Sure, and I guess this is an issue for government, this isn't a local issue.
No, it's not a local issue. It needs the government to think through sensibly and long term about what exactly they want to get out of this, and they need to fund it properly.
The school governors have played an essential role in monitoring the extended services and receive regular reports from the strategy group chaired by Nigel Morgan.
It's a standing item on full governors here and at the other schools, so there's the opportunity to update all the governors on the progress that the extended school is making.
Were there any issues where the governors had a more direct role in influencing, perhaps in charging and letting policy?
Really, there haven't been anything, and there's not been anything contentious, and governors have been wholly supportive. Regarding the charging, I mean, it's one of the objects of a charging policy is to identify those people who might have trouble paying and accessing services, and that's actually fulfilled by some of the work that goes on by the family support workers who are closer to those who might need to access our services with some financial help.
And finally, have you got some words of advice that I can take back to my governing board as we embark on this journey?
It's hard work, but it is worth it. It's worth persevering because you do start to see the differences, and it's not the short-term wins, it's the long-term wins. It's what the difference it's going to make to the transition of students through different schools, to how well they adapt, and making sure that every child matters.
Frances leaves John O'Gaunt School with obvious concerns about the sustainability issue, but she's had an enlightening day.
It's been a great experience for me to see all the elements that bring together extended schools offering here. And I think the highlights for me would be a reinforcement of the fact that the ESCO role, the Extended Schools Coordinator, is a key role, and meeting Pauline today has really opened my eyes to what's been required there. I learnt a lot about the blend of after-school provision and holiday club provision, and I think the most valuable lesson that I've learnt today is the wonderful success of the family support workers and their role in parenting support, which is a part of the core offer that we know that we have a gap in. It's something very exciting which will really bring a big plus to our extended schools provision.